side as well. Yeah, all right, shalom, shalom. We want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory. Salaki. We want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah Dash. We want to give all honors to the apostles and the bishop elders, a great millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to our fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, the elect, those men and women that fear and believe in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Hey, I'm the brother, excuse me, I'm the brother Gabar YAHAWADAH.
This is brother Kahanallah.
Khan, and we the brothers from GMS Hawaii. We just wanted to, today is Passover day. Currently, right now, we in two different locations, but me and the brothers, we're going to hold it together, virtually. But, the title of this lesson is Pre-Passover Lesson 2025, Staying in the Spirit, right? And this is staying in the spirit of the Passover, understanding what's the significance of the Passover? How does that significance affect us today in our walk? So with that, we want to hope that we can answer these questions through this precept, through this lesson. You see that this image in front of you is from the Ark of Titus. This is when the Romans ransacked the temple and took all the Lord's godly things and goodly things from it, the gold, the silver, the menorah. And really, this was the Lord taking all this from us because of our iniquities. He allowed these heathen to overrun us. And as it is today, they are oppressing us, right? But our Passover, Yahweh Shai, he's the real Passover, the true Passover. He's going to deliver us the lamb. He's the Passover lamb. He's going to deliver us from our captors, right? And he's going to make us beautiful again. He's going to redeem us. All right. So you got anything, brother?
Khan. Well, yeah, ultimately I was looking for a scripture, but in the meantime, the Passover is that sacrifice that in ancient Egypt, we put the blood of the lamb on our doorposts so that the Lord could have mercy upon us, because we believe, right? Yep. So ultimately now is the blood of Yahweh Shai that's cleansing us. That's that's so like it the blood of Yahweh Shai on our spirit, which our mind is representative of that doorpost, so that those that believe and do after the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai be given mercy. I was looking for that precept about cleansing by the word of Yahweh Shai. I think it's in 1 John.
Oh, you got it?
Real quick, yeah. 1 John 1.
I got one in Ephesians.
Okay, Khan, yeah, I'll look for this other one in the meantime.
Ephesians 5 and 26. Ephesians 5 and 26. Ephesians 5 and 26. Yep, it's the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 26. And it says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of it's not what it was, but I'll just read it because it's pretty much a point. But This is Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Mashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it. Well, he didn't give himself for the church, he gave himself for the congregation of the elect of Israel, right? And ultimately all of Israel, that he might sanctify and cleanse it. What is he cleansing? The congregation, us, with the washing of the water by the word, right? Because this water is living water. This word is living water, right? This word is living water. Believers, he that believeth on me, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water, right? And what is that living water? It's this word. And this is what cleanses us, right? Did you find that precept you were looking for, brother? No.
Salakia.
It's all good. So again, we're washed by this word, right? So again, it says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious congregation. I don't want to use that word church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. And that's what the Lord is doing for us. He's making us right, getting us ready for the marriage, the bridegroom, so that when we present it to the Lord, we present it with no spots in us, no blemishes. What are those blemishes? Our wickedness, our evil, our sins, our iniquities. But in the eyes of Yahawah Shem Shai, Lord, when we part of the elect, we receive that pardon, we're going to be received as spotless, right? Without any wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be what? Holy, which is sanctified, separate, without blemish. So ought men to, so that was it right there. That was it. Do you have the precept you're looking for, bro?
Khan, yeah, I have this in the book of First Peter.
Oh, you want to share it, or you want to pull it?
Yeah. I'll share the screen real quick.
So, and that's what Yahawah Shai is doing. So on this day, we remember Yahawah Shai's sacrifice, which we're gonna go into that in a second after the brother get what he got. But we're gonna go into that because it's heavy. Like, this is one of the heaviest days of the year for us, especially here in captivity. But it's a solemn day. It's a day of remembrance. It's a day of seriousness. Because that sacrifice Yahawah made was not for nothing, right? Even though this world spits on the sacrifice the Lord made, even though the world of Israel is disobedient against it, it don't take away the heaviness and the seriousness and the importance of that sacrifice. Because without it, we'd be lost. You got it, brother.
That's right. Yeah, and like you said, without that sacrifice, well, we would be all condemned to what? To destruction, man. Because all of us have sinned against Yahawah Shem Shai. We, in one way or another, or worshipped idols, or did things that were worthy of death, and that's why, the scriptures say that that what if it wasn't for that remnant, and that remnant came through Yahawah Shai's sacrifice, man. It's not nothing that we did or the believers did. It was because Yahawah Shai sacrificed himself for what? For those that will believe in him, So that sacrifice wasn't a light thing, and this is why we always tell brothers, like, look, man, this is a high holy day, and we got to be like locked in the spirit, man, making sure that we're self-examining ourselves, that that we good in the eyes of the Lord to the best of our abilities. Of course we all have things we got to work on, but we got to try to be the most in tune with Yahawah Shem Shai as we can. So this is in the book of First Peter 1 and verse 18. It says, for as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain conversations received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Hamashiach, as a lamb without blemish and without spot.
Media streams. Salaki, it says, before presenting a screen, remove other media streams. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Let me see. Move. There you go. Read it again, brother.
This is 1 Peter 1:18. It says, "For as much as ye know, ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold, from your vain conversations received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Hamashiach, as a lamb without blemish and without spot." And as we know, the Heavenly Father stopped accepting our sacrifices, man. Why? Because Jake were being hypocrites. Jake would say, "Yeah, we love the Lord and we worship the Lord," but in reality, they was doing wickedness, man. And the Lord pretty much had he didn't want anything, no sacrifices from us. There was no way for us to make it right with the Lord anymore. But he accepted one last sacrifice, which was what? Yahawashi on the cross, man. Our Lord and Savior, Yahawashi Mashiach. And he did it without blemish. He was blameless on that life. He showed our people that it was possible to be, perfect, at which only he could be perfect, but we are strive to be as Yahawashi, man. So with that in mind, we have to set a goal of, I'm gonna be like Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, and work daily on what? On becoming like unto him, be like Yahawashi said himself, "Be ye as my Father, which is perfect." you know
That's right. Absolutely, brother. So it says remove other media from streaming. I'm just trying to. I gotta switch back and forth to the way StreamYard is set up now. You just can't switch back from one page to the next. Yeah, this is weird. But this is the book of. Well, let's go through Wisdom of Solomon 17:1. Right, and it says, "For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred." Yeah, because unnurtured souls, those people who haven't been nurtured by the Spirit of the Lord, they err because they don't understand the Lord's judgments, and it can't be expressed to them. So it says, verse 2, "For when the unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation," who is the holy nation? The nation of Israel, right? Yasha Allah, us. It says, "They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay their exile from the eternal province," right? And it says, um, and we're still exiled right now from the eternal province. "For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under the dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions." And this happened in Egypt, right? The Lord put plagues upon them people for what they did to us, and the Lord's going to do that again in this spiritual Sodom in Egypt. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises of waters falling down and sounded about them, and the sad visions appeared unto them with heaviness of countenance. So the Lord put straight up hell on them on ancient Egypt, the Montezarian Nights, right? He put hell on them for doing what they did to us, right? Capturing the Lord's people. And this is the beginning of what? Of the night of the original Passover, the first Passover, right? Which Yahweh Shah was that death angel. He was that death angel. Okay. So it says, "No power of fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night." So these people were in pitch blackness. Mind you, while they were in pitch blackness, we had light over Goshen, right? The Lord, he didn't plague Israel, right? And that's what he's going to do for his elect. Lord willing, we part of his elect. Yahweh Shah is going to move that same way for us, all right? Not all of the nation of Israel, but for the elect. He's going to do that, right? So it says, verse 6, "Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful." So they were seeing apparitions, spirits, all kinds of things, fires. "For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So the things they saw, they thought it was even more. They don't really go into this. They ain't go into this in that movie, The 10 Commandments with Charleston Heston. They went into some plagues, like I think it was like flies, then frogs. Then they went to the fire. Then they went to the what was it? The blood. The water turns into blood. But they ain't really go heavy into how the Lord plagued that place, man. All because he had the Lord's choice people. They had the Lord's people locked up in there because they didn't want to let us go. Pharaoh, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. As for illusions of art, magic, they were put down, and their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace, right? Because that's the same thing that happens today. Esau, he took all these things from these ancient cultures, and they have high-level magicians and illusion workers. But the Lord's going to put all that down. A lot of the things you see in this world, you think is real in this world, is nothing but illusion and set up out of art of magic. So the Lord, he put them down before. He's going to do that again this time. As for the illusions of art and magic, they were put down, and their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace. And that's what's going to happen to Esau. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So it's like, here it is, you using these magicians, and they promising you that they're gonna run away the terrorists. But it was comical. It was like, these niggas can't do nothing against the Lord. They power, that power on the left hand side Esau has, and that the Montanarites had back then. They couldn't do nothing against the power of the right hand. You know what I'm saying? It was worthy to be laughed at. Oh, you want to speak, brother?
No. I was just agreeing. Yeah, because this world, well, whether it be, straight up witchcraft and spell using and all that, or whether it be, a form of science, of technology, all of that's part of that deception, man. And just like in the ancient world, Esau and the heathens, well, chiefly Esau that's in power, he's trying to lead away the chosen nation from the right path, man. He's trying to keep you captives in modern day Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he creates this world that's enticing, so that you could love it. He'll give you he'll create all these vacation places, the access to travel, to fly an airplane, to get expensive cars. Like, you take a look at today's world, and pretty much nobody owns nothing. It's an illusion, like you mentioned. It's like everybody owes a shitload of money. You never own nothing, but just keep piling on debt, and then you're gonna make some money off of it monthly. But in reality, you don't own nothing. So it's like, whenever Esau want to crash the economy or something bad happens, guess what? All those things that you so-called own, they could be taken from you, man. You see, and that's part of that illusion, that deception. That's why the Lord told us not to love this world, and that's a way that Esau keeps you what? Captive to this world, man.
And none of that stuff can save you. Riches don't profit in their wrath of material gain. That shit ain't gonna help you out. Your idols that you worship, they ain't gonna help you out. You gonna get
technology, nothing.
With technology, none of that shit's gonna save you. The MOTB ain't gonna save you from the judgment that's coming. But people gonna run to Esau to get it, thinking that it's gonna save them and keep them in the new system, and it's gonna be all good for them. But it's gonna be all bad. Verse 9, it says, "For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents." So the Lord opened his Pandora's box on these damn Egyptians, man. They died for fear. Like he said, they died for fear, denying they saw the air, right? So these people had heart attacks, right? These people dropped dead right on the site just for fear, and which could of no side be avoided. So they couldn't even see. They couldn't even see where it was coming from. The Lord was just plaguing the shit out of them. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasts grievous things. Says is For fear is nothing else but the betraying of succors which reason offers, which is succor is security, right? So this is for fear is nothing else but the betraying of your basically of your security. People are scared when you don't have security around, right? So they bug out, right? And these people, they lost their security. The Lord took it away in one day. And He gonna do the same thing this time, right? It says, and the expectation from within being less counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. Let me see what this says in the NLT. I'm at the GNT. Wisdom of Solomon 17. Wisdom of Solomon 17. And what was that? 13. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 13. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 13. It says, when you lack the confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears caused by ignorance, right? And these people they're going to lose that reasoning because they don't have that spiritual reasoning understanding, right? Just like it happened in the just like it happened in ancient Egypt. Right. Keep reading verse 14. And come on, man, it's okay. It's okay. It's just bullshit. It's another thing I hate using these websites. It says, when you lack the confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears caused by ignorance. And that's what fear comes from. The ignorance. The fears of Israel is the ignorance. That's why we don't fear this man. We fear YAHAWADAH, not man. Right? But most people, they ignorant to YAHAWADAH. Right? And shalom to the brothers on a comment board. It says, all night long, those people slept the same restless sleep, even though the night held no power over them. Since it came from the powerless depths of the world of the dead, they were chased by hideous forms and lay paralyzed as they surrounded themselves to the sudden, unexpected fear that came over them. Yeah, the Lord put extreme fear over them people, brother. That's behind right. His people, man.
And
right?
and the crazy thing is that, this time around, this, Lord willing, we get out of here soon. The Lord's gonna do that too during what? Jacob's trouble. He's gonna bring terrors upon the world, like nobody's ever seen, man. The scriptures tell us, in the book of Daniel, or that there's gonna be a time of horror like there has never been before since there was a nation, man. So, this shows us that we gotta be, like I mentioned earlier, in tune with the Lord the most we can to the best of our abilities, man. And today being a high holy day, it's a time to remember again that sacrifice and how much more we got to be closer to the Lord, because we are approaching that time of great judgment, man. And this is, imagine we reading this of what he did to Mizraim. How much more is he gonna do now to this kingdom, man, which has been the most wicked kingdom to ever uh be in power? There's gonna be terrible things happening in these times that we're approaching, man. This is why it's so important that we keep that healthy fear of the Lord on us and do as we're commanded.
Yeah, that's right. Do what the Lord have told us to do, man. In verse Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 15, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions and partly fainted, their heart failing them. For a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. So it was just a night full of terror, man. It says, so then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars. So they were paralyzed, they were stuck. They couldn't even move. For whether he were a husbandman or a shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken, endured that necessity which could not be avoided. for they were all bound with one chain of darkness. So the Lord put darkness on them Egyptians, man. He put complete dark. It didn't matter if you were a mighty man or no man, whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running down violently. So imagine that's sensory overload. The Lord gave them people sensory overload, man. In the ancient world, man, that's crazy. Or terrible sound of stones casting down and running that could not be seen, of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beast, or a rebounding echo from a hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. And this is going to happen again. For the whole world shine with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Verse 21. Over them only was spread a heavy night, and an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness, because they were running into shit, they were screaming, it's like Final Destination. They run into some shit, get chopped in half, motherfucker. They was bugged. The Lord fucked them up. Nevertheless, right, the saints had a very great light. You see, over us, we were good. We had a very great light over us. And even now, today, we have a very great light over us in Yahawadah, in Yahawadah. Nevertheless, the saints, who are the saints? The Israelites, had a very great light, whose voice hearing and not seeing their shape, because they also had not suffered the same thing, they counted them happy. Right, we were happy because we didn't suffer what them Egyptians were suffering, bro.
That's right.
This is beautiful. And Lord willing, we part of the elect, brothers and sisters. We gonna be happy that we don't suffer with these modern day Egyptians gonna suffer, bro. We're gonna be here to witness it. But what the Lord say, He gonna bless His elect. When these people starving and hungry and thirsty, we gonna be drinking. We're gonna be eating. We're gonna be merry at heart. When these people sorrowful at heart, we're gonna be happy. When these people are crying, we're gonna be laughing. Right? And when they roll on us, the Lord gonna give us spiritual powers. You got something, right? You got something, brother?
Yeah, I was looking for a precept that says that ye be not condemned with the world, roughly paraphrasing. You got it. I'm looking this up real quick.
I got it. I got it for you. That 1 Corinthians 11 and 32, brother. I got you. 1 Corinthians 11 and 32. I think I was reading that chapter earlier, but 1 Corinthians 11 and 32. Yep.
That's right.
I got you, brother. You got it.
This is 1 Corinthians.
Start at because I had brought this piece about earlier when I was speaking at it, but yeah, just go to
27.
Start at 31.
Okay.
Or you can start really, you can start at the Lord's Supper. Why not? If you want, start at 23.
All right, This the book of 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 23. It says, for I have received of the Lord that which is also delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahawadah, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. And again, we keeping this Passover in remembrance of that sacrifice that Yahawadah did for us. Because if we wouldn't have had Yahawadah, we would have been done for, man. It says
But the
After
Lord
the
said,
same,
Malachi, but the Lord said, what it said, therefore you sons of Jacob were not consumed. It says, I think it says, I am the Lord, I change not. I am YAHAWADAH, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed, man. Because that mercy always extended to us. The tender mercies of David, they extended to the Lord's people, starting with the elect, right?
that's right.
And even Jake can't even see the mercy that they have right now in front of them right now because they're blind. That mercy, the apostles, the bishop elders, the brothers on down, the men of great millstone, and our affiliates, we out here teaching the right and true doctrine to our people, but they don't see it as a point of salvation, right? A door to salvation, right? They don't see it as a door to redemption. They see it as something that's um, not worthy of their attention. You got it, brother.
That's right. Verse verse 25, it says, after the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. Do this do ye as often as ye drink it in remembrance of me. And again, this is what we're about to partake in, the remembrance of the sacrifice of the Lord, man. It says, verse 26, for as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. And keeping this high holy day is not just doing, the ceremony and just being a person in the world. You got to walk your life as what, as Yahweh Shai taught the disciples, which later became apostles, every single day of your life, man. Because it's what the Lord requires of us, to be nigh unto him. If
Yeah,
not,
no, I'm
you'll
sorry,
be
brother.
destroyed. Kind, you got it, brother.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was trying to make a point, but the point also too is not just the Passover, because when we come into this truth and we do this work, we're supping with the Lord. He's supping with us. Yahweh Shai is supping with us, right? And so we eating this bread of life, which is this word, that blood that Yahweh Shai shed. We're drinking that too. That's also that water. Remember when he got stabbed at the end, when he gave him the spirit and they stabbed him on his side, what came gushing out? Water. I believe he said blood and water, but that was that was symbolic, man. Because that we drinking that blood, that's that water too. And we're cleansed by the blood. It's like we're cleansed by that water. When we in this truth, this is it's the same thing of that. And we remember Yahweh Shai. That's why when we treat each other, we deal with each other, bro. We remembering Yahweh Shai when we doing that, bro. We speak to one another. We show each other charity. We show each other um, faith and love in the truth, meaning we exercising these commandments one towards another. We're being honest with one another. Because if Yahweh Shai was standing right here in front of us, we would want to do the same thing to him. We want to minister to him. Same way we minister to each other. So you can't come into this truth unworthily. You can't take part in this truth unworthily. You got some guys that's doing that. Some guys that are agents for Esau, right? You got some guys that are in it because it's just something to do. They want to be down. You got brothers that's sincere. There's a lot of guys out here that's eating of this bread unworthily. But you got it, brother. I'm sorry.
Verse 27, it says, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the blood of the body and blood of the Lord.
So that means it's like you killed the Lord all over again.
That's right.
You partaking in this feast, this ceremony, both the Passover as well as being in this truth, unworthily.
Khan, and a good example of that was Judas Iscariot, man. He was supping with the Lord, but in the back of his mind, he already knew he was gonna, turn the Lord over, and that's why the Lord told him, like, pretty much go do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah,
And what happened? He hung himself because he felt guilt of what he did wrong, man.
yeah,
You know.
he knew he had given up an innocent man, but it was already written for him that that was his story. That was his lot. Yahawashi knew it all along. It wasn't like Yahawashi just woke up that day and said, "Oh, this guy's gonna betray me." No, he knew it all along. Even when he cussed them out, the disciples out, he yelled at them. He's like, "Y'all gonna leave too?" He said, and then he said, "Oh, y'all here, but one of you is a devil," roughly paraphrasing. And they didn't know what he was saying. It went over their head. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? But that one that was the devil, which was the deceiver, was Judas of Issachar. And he was carnal minded. He wanted to move the Most Hands arm through his son carnally. He wanted to force it, but he didn't want to go with the prophecies. But it was set up for him to do that anyway. But you got it, brother.
Verse 28, it says, "But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup."
So the important thing is to examine yourself before you partake in this. The brother posted that 1 Corinthians 11 and 29 in the Amplified version. It says, 1 Corinthians 11:29, "For anyone who eats and drinks without solemn reverence and a heartfelt gratitude for the sacrifice of Yahawashi, Hamashiach, eats and drinks judgment on himself, if he does not recognize." Right? Because you got, hey, remember that dude Al-Azhar? They were holding the Passover in jollity and all that shit. They wasn't reverencing Yahweh Bashim Shah, and that wasn't a solemn assembly. Just like the IUIC and the ISUPK, it's a party for them niggas. They choose a wife, right? But what they doing is they're not partaking with what heartfelt gratitude for the sacrifice in which Yahawashi made for us. But we're doing that. This is solemn assembly, brothers. Right? Every year this year come by, there's always something going on. You know, people start falling off, people start bugging out, things start happening. You get scared, everybody looking around, just like the disciples were scared that night. What you gonna read it? The disciples were scared that night. Oh, is it me? Is it me? And he didn't tell them, but he said, hey, he gave him a clue. The one that dipped his, and dipping his bread in his sop, this soup or sop with me, it is him. And mind you, they had all been dipping in, but then it was when he said that dude, Judas of Issachar was him. Because he had already made up in his mind. Satan had already been working in his mind to turn his back on the Lord.
God.
But it says of himself, he does not recognize the body of Hamashiach. And you got to recognize the body of Yahawashi. You got it, my brother. I'm sorry.
That's right. Back in the KJV, it says, "For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly amongst you, and many sleep."
Yeah.
For if
many people are sick because they off. They messed up. They're dead. They in the world sleeping. They're in the ground because they didn't realize it. You got it, brother.
It says, verse 31, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world." So we got to, again, self-examine ourselves to see if we're walking in the right path, man. And, sometimes we're going to be chastised for our wrongs, but it's for what purpose? So that we're not judged with the world. So we might be doing something wrong and, a chastisement comes your way, but it's not for you to be destroyed, but to correct your wrongs, man. So that So that you could drink and eat of the Passover or the bread and blood of Yahawashi, which is ultimately the truth, worthily, man. You can't be walking in this truth, calling yourself a man of the Lord and just doing things that people do in the world, man. Acting like a whole nigga in the world, like just doing wickedness. Because at the end of the day, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be judged for those wrongs that you commit. So you gotta self-examine yourself, like, damn. And if you're going through chastisement, it's because the Lord loves us and He wants to correct us, man, so that we cleanse ourselves through those tribulations.
That's right. That's right. And that word world there being condemned with the world is cosmos, and it goes back to the world of Israel, right? It says of a multitude. No, it says inhabitants. No, it says an ornament, decoration, ornament, i.e., arrangement of the stars, the heavenly host, the ornament of the heavens, the world or universe, the circle of earth. Nope. It says um uh yeah, multitude of whose mass of men alienated from the Most High. The ungodly multitude. Who is the ungodly multitude? 2/3 of Israel. The whole mass of men alienated from the Most High. Who's the whole mass of men alienated from the Most High? Israel, Jacob, and therefore hostile to the cause of the anointed. Right? So we're not going to be condemned with the world of Israel. Right? Well, we'll only endure to the end. Wow, we receiving that chastening. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord that we should not be condemned with the world. So the Lord is chastening us so we won't be condemned with the world. Right? Because the world of Israel is not being chastened. Right? They're not being chastised. Okay? You got it, brother.
Kind of well, I'll get it real quick. In the book of Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha,
What chapter?
chapter 2. Let me see if I could.
Ecclesiasticus 2, Sirach and the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse what?
Well, verse 5.
Verse 5.
Well, actually, we could start at verse 4.
God.
Because we speaking about that chastisement that the Lord puts on us to what? To correct us, to put us back into the straight path.
Yep.
So Ecclesiasticus 2 and 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when we're doing wrong, the Lord doesn't just let us lie with wickedness, man. Like sometimes obviously it sucks. Like the scriptures say, no current chastisement is pleasant, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah, for a
Because
moment.
because in the moment it doesn't feel good. You're like, damn, what the fuck? Why is this happening or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at things spiritually, it's for growth, man. The Lord is doing whatever He's doing to you and your individual walk is for what? For spiritual growth. Verse 5, Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5, it says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So when gold is tried in the fire, what's happening there? All the impurities are being burned, so that what? So that it could be turned into a precious whatever is gonna be made into a ring, ornament.
Or in
Because
this case, more precious than fine gold, a man of the Lord.
that's right. So the Lord is gonna do the same thing. We'll read back in the book of First Corinthians, it says that what? But when the Lord chastises you, He does it so that we don't be condemned with the world. So this is part of our work. Sometimes we're gonna be chastised, and we're gonna be in certain situations that might make you think carnally, like, damn, this is happening to me. The Lord must not be dealing with me. But hey, it's chastisement because of something you're doing, something you might have to change in your walk, so that what? So that you're not condemned with the world. Now, if you in that spirit of, oh yeah, nah, the Lord's not dealing with me, I'm going back into the world, then hey, you might not be part of the elect. You always have to have faith in the Lord that whatever He's doing, you're gonna put your trust in Him.
Yeah.
And that through Him, through the word, through the spirit of Yahawah Shem Yahushai, you're gonna overcome those obstacles, man. No matter how bad it seems, because hey, we approaching a great time of judgment, brothers and sisters, and it's gonna be way worse than whatever you brothers and sisters is going through now. It's gonna be a time where it literally is gonna feel like the Lord's just like forgetting about everything, because it's gonna be a time of just judgment. So we gotta trust in the Lord, and no matter what we go through, hey, put our trust in Him, because He's gonna deliver on His word.
Yep. His brother, salvation of the elect posted 2 Corinthians 4:17 in the NLT. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long, yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever. Right. So these things that we're going through is to make us better in the sight of Yahweh Shem Shai, and they're small in comparison to the glory in which Yahweh Shem Shai is going to give us, and that's going to last forever. It's not going to be a temporary glory like this world, right? You hot one day and then you cold the next. No, we're gonna be always lit, lighted with that glory. It's not going to ever fade, and it's going to vastly outweigh the troubles that we are going through today. And you're not even going to be thinking about those troubles when we in the kingdom of heaven, right?
That's
when we
right.
stay out of here through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. So, I ain't gonna hold brothers up. We gotta get ready. This brother gotta go get the stuff ready for the Passover. It's still early year time, but I want to say, may Yahweh Shem Shai bless us and keep us safe this Passover. All you brothers and sisters around the world, may Yahweh Shem Shai Shalak Kasadyam, which is give mercy to all of us. Baba Shah, watch over us, watch over our homes, bless us and keep us from the hour of temptation that's going to come across the whole world. May Yahweh Shem Shai strengthen us throughout this year and watch over us and continue to give us His mercy and glory. So this has been our pre-Passover lesson. May the Lord bless and guide you. We'll give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, God. I'm saying give double honor to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. Hey, shalom, brothers.
Hey, shalom.